Everyone in crypto needs to understand this right now. Welcome to the channel, everyone. My name is Nick. For those that are new to the channel, hopefully by the end of this video, you do become a subscriber. If we take a quick look at what the International Monetary Fund, the IMF, put out back in September of 2022, we're talking about well over almost 2 years ago now. We have DeFi and TradFi must work together. And if we actually look at this, we have decentralized and traditional finance can thrive in tandem to fund renewable energy and other pressing needs, but only with clear standards and rules. And what's funny about this is, for the longest time, this entire space has been focused on DeFi overthrowing and replacing traditional finance. In fact, Bitcoin, the original viewpoint of Bitcoin was to escape the traditional system and ultimately replace a monopoly broken banking system, escape it, get away from it, get wealthy, and, just completely overthrow the traditional world of finance. Well, I strongly encourage everyone to join the free Discord. There's going to be a link at the top of the description below. This is one of the most valuable and informative Discords out there, and it's completely free. There's a free side that has a ton of free crypto gems, free market strategies, guides, market trends, free charts, and there's also going to be new cheat sheets dropped in this Discord. And already we have a ton of testimonials from members of the Discord that have been absolutely loving it. So what are you waiting for? Go and click the link at the top of the description below and join the free Discord. A lot of things have changed since then, and now we're really kind of looking at how can this technology, how can, these assets really kind of be integrated within the traditional system, make efficient finance, but also make those that are investing into these networks before anyone even sees it extremely wealthy. Well, it's the way of anything. You have collaboration between the private and the public sector, and that's exactly what's happening now. And even over here, we have from JP Morgan back in November of 2022. Remember, the IMF and these organizations, they really kind of set the tone. And we have institutional DeFi, the next generation of finance. And institutional DeFi is taking off right now. We've been addressing this even with XRP and Ripple, actually. Ripple is killing the game. Nobody is even aware of the stepping stones in place to get to mass adoption of crypto. And just to put it into perspective for you guys, it started with the ETFs. Now it's all about tokenization. These are the steps to realize in so many different use cases around this space. Most people are not even aware of it. And it all happens through tokenization. Tokenization will lead the way for all of these different use cases to be brought in. So then when we really kind of look at institutional DeFi, that's because of tokenization. And even over here, we have TradFi and DeFi bridging the gap. And this is from the DTCC. Remember, they are settling $3 quadrillion worth of securities transactions per year. And we can actually see everything around this. They are talking about the efficiencies of DeFi, the governance of TradFi, really kind of coming together and harnessing the power of both. And we even have down here that we are beginning to see the DLT solution landscape evolve, where new technology solutions can be applied to address challenges that still remain in other areas, already applying and experimenting with novel technology. And it will be interesting to see the way these solutions come together. And what's crazier about all of this is we already know that the DTCC is utilizing DLT. We have here, though, we approach our solution design with optionality, whether entering solutions through traditional rails or through DeFi. We research, experiment, design, and deploy solutions that can serve all our clients today and tomorrow. Guys, these names like the DTCC or even traditional banks like JP Morgan, Bank of America, Citi, they are now looking at this space and they're saying, all right, there's no time to waste. We can throw out all the arguments about how crypto's a scam, crypto's used for this. No, they're now looking at the technology and they're realizing, like, listen, we can't let this, fly by, because if we don't get in now, there's no slowing down. And a lot of these players like JP Morgan have been around for a while. They know about this space. They have been participating in this space undercover while throwing out, shade about Bitcoin, this, that, whatever. Don't get distracted by that, by the way. But realizing in the vision of truly implementing, integrating this technology into the traditional system, that's underway. We already know like most of the banks are here doing that. The only thing that we're actually waiting for is regulations. But the reason why I'm talking about all of this, because of, tokenization, all that kind of stuff heating up, the main reason why I'm talking about it is because of how big DeFi actually is. Almost $78 billion. But once we start to see tokenization really heating up, once we start to see, these big institutions, these big financial players utilizing this technology, guys, we're not going to be valuing DeFi in, billions of dollars. We're going to be valuing it in trillions of dollars. So as I look at this chart and I go back to 2021, where this had $260 billion in TVL, we're sitting at almost 178 billion. Sorry. I know that upside potential in the DeFi space is, great, but it's so much bigger than what we are perceiving, because we're not going to probably hit, 10 trillion or anything like that this cycle. But I wouldn't be surprised if we did touch $1 trillion plus this cycle, especially with all the big players like BlackRock already in on the game around tokenization. They're already going all in on tokenization. It's the buzzword that everyone has been hearing for the last couple months, and even technically the last year or so. And it's because of the efficiencies tied to tokenization. But as we think about this, and as we actually look at all these chains in the space, the number one dominant chain around DeFi is Ethereum. 68.1% of all TVL in this space is on Ethereum. But will we see this change? In my opinion, yes, we will. Hedera has been growing. Recently, this was in a massive downtrend, and now we are starting to actually have a break to the upside. We have regained over $100 million in TVL, which I love to see. TVL on SaucerSwap and pretty much along the, all of the other protocols within Hedera are up about roughly 10 plus to 16 plus, almost 20% on the 7-day span, which again, this is TVL growth in the last 7 days. They're all up 10 plus percent. But this is just a starting point. And you know what's crazy about this? There's only 8 protocols on Hedera versus something like Ethereum that has over 1,125 protocols. Guys, that is absolutely massive. So as we really kind of look at Hedera, yes, DeFi is still early on with Hedera, but we just got a big announcement of how big Hedera could be around DeFi. In my recent videos, when I do talk about Hedera and DeFi, the number one thing I brought up is the categories around TVL within DeFi. Liquid staking is number one with $54 billion. Lending is number 2, which is lending and borrowing, at almost $36 billion. Okay, I am focused on the lending side of things because not only is the revenue and the fees substantial around lending and borrowing, but look at the blue chips within this category. There's some great names. Now, why am I talking about this? Why am I bringing it up? Well, let's go over here to the recent announcement back in May of DeFi Spring. There was an incentive campaign injecting up to 100 million HBAR to help scale the Hedera network's maturing DeFi ecosystem. We also know that the HBAR Foundation did recently announce that they are going to further support the ecosystem with, I think it was like 10 million HBAR every so often around grants and things like that, community grants as well, which I love to see. But regardless, we're really kind of focused on the DeFi side because it does look as though Hedera is fully focused on improving DeFi and taking this thing to the next level around the DeFi space. And I do believe that Hedera is going to be a dominant winner in the DeFi side. Why? Well, because of the efficiencies on Hedera, but also because of the expansions. Just recently, we got 3 new names coming to Hedera. Now, one of them we talked about before, which is Bonzo Finance, but now we also have H Liquidity and Serial Finance. These 3 projects look as though they could set the stage for Hedera to absolutely explode within the DeFi space. Why? Because all 3 of them are focused on lending and borrowing. Guys, there's 3 names. They're going to be added to this list. We are going to now be at 11 protocols, 3 of which are focused on the second largest category by TVL. And I do believe that lending and borrowing on Hedera is going to be extremely efficient. Now, just to take a quick look at all 3 of these, we have Bonzo Finance, which has recently been growing, which by the way, if you do hold HBAR and if you have an X account, you should 100% be following all three of these projects over on X. But we have Bonzo Finance, we also have H Liquidity, and then we also have Serial Finance. So all three of these projects look as though they could be very, very solid players in this space. And that's just going off of UI for Bonzo and Serial. There's no UI that I could see with H Liquidity. I might be wrong. They have shown some pictures on their X account of what it kind of looks like. It doesn't look too bad. I like the look of it. It's not bad at all. But regardless of that, let's actually take a quick look at both Bonzo and Serial. And for those that have watched the recent videos, yes, I've already shown you guys Bonzo Finance before, but for those that are new, I'm going to show this as well. But this is the website for Bonzo. Very simple, very, straightforward, nothing too crazy. We could also see down here the Bonzo NFT collectibles if you guys did want to go check out those. And then we also have NFT collectibles utility and what it actually does. And we also have the support for Bonzo. Now, outside of that, like I said, it's very simple, very straightforward. We have the actual application. Now, this is in testnet. This is the testnet of the application, but this is what it actually looks like. Very simple, very straightforward. I mean, listen, if I gave this to someone that's not even in crypto, outside of just like the Connect wallet thing, they would know exactly what this is doing because it's giving you the supply, the borrowed, it's giving you the total supply, total borrow, utilization rate, supply APY, and even the borrow APY. I mean, listen, all you have to do is really kind of know the basics around finance to understand what everything on this screen actually means, which is the big thing to focus on when it comes to UI or any application in the space. So as we look at that, right, I think that Bonzo is going to be a big winner around this because of how simple it is. And remember, it is on Hedera, so it is extremely efficient around fees, transaction times, things like that. So I think that this is going to be great. Now, second up on the list is Serial Finance. We have effortless loans, superior UX, and AI-driven safety. Love to see this. And we have Serial represents the first lending protocol built on Hedera. It is designed to ensure an unparalleled user experience by leveraging Hedera's speed and scalability. Additionally, it incorporates a machine learning algorithm as a mechanism to decrease liquidation events. Love to see this. Very simple, like I said. Very simple, very straightforward, nothing too crazy. We also have a full-on roadmap for this going into Q1 of 2025. We also have some of the partners down here. Love to see some of these partners. Guys, there are some great partners on this list, but also outside of this, I want to really kind of show you guys the application, which is this. So look at how straightforward this is as well. Again, very simple, very easy to understand, right? All of these are in the testnet, by the way. Just to reiterate that, they're not fully launched just yet, but this is what it looks like. I mean, this is so simple. You have the dashboard, you have the analytics, you have the stake, you have the vote as well, which these two are actually coming soon. But overall, this looks absolutely solid. This is why I keep I keep focusing on the DeFi initiatives that Hedera is really kind of pushing. Because if we look at a lot of these projects back in the previous bull run, a lot of this was not there. DeFi on Hedera was non-existent back in 2021. So as we look at this space and as we look at the, convergence of TradFi and DeFi, who do you think is going to be the big winner out of that? It's going to be the most efficient and the best in class technology around DeFi initiatives. Hedera definitely needs to be at the top of that list because of how efficient the overall network is. But I'm going to be doing a full-on deep dive on these three, further in another video probably, because again, these three are going to be solid for Hedera. I think that this is also going to put Hedera on the map, especially around lending, which has over $50 billion in TVL on it. A lot of these are great projects, but I just feel like some of these projects that are coming to Hedera could definitely give a lot of these big players and projects on the lending side a run for their money. And I do think that Hedera will start to steal a lot of TVL from the space because of the efficiencies. All it really takes is retail to catch on to just how efficient the tech is behind Hedera versus something like, Ethereum. Ethereum has been a blue chip in the DeFi space for so long, and it's because all of the big projects tied to it. Even if you click Ethereum, for an example, you could actually see some of the projects here like Avi, Lido, these are very prominent blue chips around, DeFi. So it makes sense on why Ethereum is the number one, but we already know that a lot of the inefficiencies around Ethereum is already catching up to it. So in my opinion, it's only a matter of time until we start to see dominance usurped from Ethereum trickling down the list. And I do think that that's where we start to see some of these, new generation technologies like Hedera really kind of taking over. So with that being said, if you guys enjoyed this video, if you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe, set notifications on because more free content. You guys are more than follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord down in the description below. And with that being said, guys, it's been Nick. Thanks for watching. Peace out.